What if I told you that happiness has nothing to do with your circumstances, that no matter how bad life gets, whether you lose your job, face betrayal, or even find yourself completely alone, you could still be at peace? It sounds impossible, right? But the ancient Stoics believed this wasn't just possible, it was within your control. Most people chase happiness in external things, money, relationships, achievements. But here's the harsh truth. Everything outside of you can be taken away in an instant. What happens then? Do you fall apart, or do you stand firm, unshaken? The Stoics discovered a timeless formula. Epictetus, a man born into slavery, who later became one of history's greatest philosophers, said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." Think about that. It's not the breakup, the failure, or the rejection that makes us suffer. It's how we interpret these events. The problem isn't life itself. It's the way we react to it. And if we can control our reactions, we can control our happiness. In this guide, we'll explore 7 Stoic lessons that can help you find peace, even in the worst circumstances. These aren't just theories, they're practical, life-changing mindsets that have helped warriors, leaders, and everyday people thrive in the face of suffering. Before we dive in, if you find value in this, consider liking and subscribing to support our small but growing community. Let's bring ancient wisdom into the modern world, together. Now let's begin with Lesson 1. Stop complaining. It's making you weaker. Life is unfair. Bad things happen. People betray us. We lose jobs, we get sick, and sometimes, no matter how hard we try, things just don't go our way. The natural reaction? Complain. We vent to friends, we dwell on our misfortune, and we replay the unfairness over and over in our minds. It feels justified, but here's the brutal truth. Complaining doesn't change reality, it only makes us weaker. The Stoics believed that suffering is not caused by external events, but by how we respond to them. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, faced war, political betrayal, and personal loss. Yet he refused to waste time complaining. Instead, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Complaining is the opposite of strength. It places the focus on what's out of our control rather than what we can control. When we complain, we reinforce our own helplessness. We tell ourselves and others that we are victims of life rather than its masters. And the more we do it, the weaker we become. But what if instead of complaining, we trained ourselves to accept? Not in a passive, defeatist way, but in the way a warrior does, calm, clear-headed, and ready to act. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate. They believed that every challenge, no matter how painful, was an opportunity to grow stronger. A setback isn't a punishment, it's a test. Next time something goes wrong, resist the urge to complain. Instead, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I respond in a way that makes me stronger? That shift in mindset, away from complaining and toward action, is the first step to real happiness, even in the worst circumstances. Lesson 2. Control your reactions. That's where your power is. Life will push you. People will insult you, plans will fail, and unexpected hardships will strike when you least expect them. And in those moments, you have 2 choices. React emotionally, losing control, or stay calm and choose your response. The Stoics believed that true power comes from mastering this choice. No matter how bad things get, the one thing you always control is how you respond. Epictetus, a former slave who became a great philosopher, put it simply, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about the last time someone made you angry. Maybe a stranger cut you off in traffic. Maybe a friend betrayed you. In that moment, did anger help? Did frustration change what happened? Or did it just rob you of your peace? Most of the time, our reactions only make things worse. We lash out, say things we regret, or stress ourselves over things we can't control. But what if, instead, you trained yourself to pause? Imagine something bad happens, your flight gets cancelled, your boss criticizes you, or someone gossips about you. Instead of reacting instantly, you stop. You take a deep breath. You remind yourself, I control my response. You let go of the things outside your control and focus on what is in your hands. This is what separates the weak from the strong. Weak people let external events dictate their emotions. Strong people remain steady, no matter the storm. And here's the best part. When you control your reactions, you control your happiness. So next time life tests you, don't give away your power. Stay calm, think clearly, respond wisely. Because in that moment you are proving something important, not just to others but to yourself. You are stronger than the chaos around you. Lesson 3. Detach from what you can't control. Freedom starts there. Most of our suffering comes from one thing, trying to control what we can't. We stress over what others think of us. We fear losing things we love, and we waste energy worrying about the future. But here's the truth. The more you cling to control, the more miserable you become. The Stoics believed that freedom, real, unshakable happiness, begins the moment you let go of what isn't yours to control. Epictetus taught this lesson with brutal clarity. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Take a moment to really think about that. What is actually under your control? Your thoughts, your actions, your attitude? That's it. Everything else, people's opinions, the economy, the weather, even your own health to some extent, is outside your hands. Yet most people spend their lives obsessing over things they can't change, and in doing so, they give away their peace. Imagine you're waiting for an important job interview. You've prepared, dressed well, and arrived on time. But then, the interviewer is rude, the company chooses someone else, and you feel crushed. Was any of that really in your control? The only thing in your hands was your effort, how you prepared, how you presented yourself. The outcome, that was never yours to decide. And if you base your happiness on things outside your control, you will always live at the mercy of life's randomness. The solution? Train yourself to focus only on what is yours to control. If someone insults you, don't try to change their opinion. Control your reaction. If life throws obstacles in your path, don't curse fate. Adjust and move forward. The moment you stop clinging to things outside your power, you become untouchable. So remind yourself daily, do your best, then let go. Because when you finally stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you discover a kind of peace that nothing in the world can shake. The choice is yours. Will you take control or stay a prisoner? If you've made it this far, one thing is clear. You're different from most people. Most people say they want happiness, peace, and control over their lives, but when faced with hardship, they collapse. They complain, they react emotionally, they try to control the uncontrollable, and in the process, they make themselves miserable. But you just unlocked something powerful. Think about it. You now know that. Checkmark complaining weakens you. Your reactions determine your happiness. Letting go of what you can't control is the path to freedom. This isn't just philosophy, it's a weapon, a mindset that can make you unshakable in any situation. But here's the catch. Knowing isn't enough. The real question is, will you actually use it? Most people will read this, nod their heads and go back to their old habits, complaining about life, getting upset over small things, stressing about things they can't control. Will that be you? Or will you take what you've learned and start living it? Here's a challenge for you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, what's one thing in your life you need to stop stressing over? What's one thing you know you need to let go of? Be honest. Write it down. When you put it into words, you make it real. And who knows, you might just inspire someone else to do the same. Also, If you found even one of these lessons valuable, do me a favor, like this post and subscribe. Not for me, but for you. Why? Because these ideas are just the beginning. There's so much more ancient wisdom that can change your life, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. So, what will it be? Keep living like everyone else, reactive, stressed, and controlled by the outside world? Or will you start taking control, mastering your mindset, and building a life where nothing can shake your peace? The choice is yours.